Welcome into the Ringerverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinkerer of things. We are Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran, looking like Morpheus there. You've got questions, he's got answers. We are Old Man Van, he of the receding resurgent hairline. We are Coke Baby Chuck, the 24-karat closer, a.k.a. the brunch hottie. And we have the Midnight Collective with us. Aleya the mod, Zenieris, Jonathan Chocolate Fire, Kermah, Arjuna the Watcher, Ramgopal. Together we are all known as the Midnight Boys. Pew, pew. Follow us on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok for now. Save Jomi's job. Jomi?
Socials are going great. Hey, it was good to see everybody at Comic-Con this weekend. Right, we had a blast. If you guys are still on Twitter, which I know not a ton of people are anymore, 2K to 30K on Twitter, or 200 actually. I can count 200 to 30K on Twitter. So hit that follow button if you can. Thank you.
We're now on YouTube. You can watch every Midnight Boys House of R and Talk to Thrones episode on youtube.com/@Ringerverse. Like, comment, and subscribe. Programmer. Tuesday, House of R will dive deep into season 2, episode 7 of House of the Dragon. Also, this Tuesday, Button Mash returns to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. The Outlaws are out there. Wednesday, Ringerverse Recommends returns to give you the best releases of the week. We all love Ringerverse Recommends. And on Friday, Mint Edition returns to discuss Batman Caped Crusader.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Did you guys seen it? Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
It's
great. It's cooking.
Blast.
It's really, really good.
Charles, did you see Batman Caped Crusader?
With what time, Van? With what time? We out here.
What does that mean? You don't have time?
I just got back to the city. We was at Comic-Con. When was I going to watch it?
Well, my question is, how did they have time to see it and you don't have time to see it? They actually have more jobs than you.
Motherfucker, I got to go record our Outcast pod right after this. So can we, we got to...
Fuck that. You think you're special. they got to do the pods and record other people's pods and show up as talent on this pod. You mean to tell me, I want to get to the bottom of this. You think you don't have time to watch Batman Caped Crusader?
I know I don't have time to watch Batman Caped Crusader.
Well, I should say you make time
Christ.
Because it's going to be a good time and we're going to be covering on Friday.
Fuck out of here. I got shit to do.
Missing out. On TV.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
the whitest we've seen Steve in the history of this podcast. Make time, nigga.
Honestly, Steve acting like Jace. He's like, mongrel? What's this
We
shit?
don't talk about that.
Jace, for real, Jace? Well, I tell you what.
Nah, fuck Jace. No, we'll get to Jace. We'll get to Jace.
Mongrels, boy.
Woo.
Wow. Yeah. Sunday, Talk to Thrones will be live on the Ringerverse YouTube right after season 2. The finale of Hot D is over. They got a lot that they're working towards. All right. It's time to get into the goddamn show if Charles has time. Spoiler warning for all Game of Thrones content ever. Now, we're going to try not to spoil the books.
We're not good.
But we might.
Wow, dude.
Jesus Christ.
We might spoil them. They might get spoiled. This is an instant reaction podcast. We drift into different types of content and conversations. We don't know what's going to happen. Steve, run the spoiler warning. We're getting ready to talk about
House of the Dragon.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. All right, to begin our reactions, we again bring you the Midnight Manifest, talking about all the need to know. Got to put you in the know. The only person who can do that is Chuck Wagner. The only way to do that is the Midnight Manifest. Chuck, take it away.
All right, this is your Midnight Manifest for House of the Dragon, the penultimate episode, The Red Sowing, directed by Lonnie Perister, written by David Hancock. Rhaenyra rolls up on Adam and is surprised that he's super cool with being her new dragon rider. Larys wants Aegon to get back in the gym with the help of Grandmaster Orwell, while Alicent goes on a camping trip because she's sad about not being on the council anymore. Meanwhile, at Hall H, Daemon finally gets the River Lord to acquiesce to his pleas, but not before Oscar Tully puts the King Regent in his place, making him execute Lord Blackwood for his war crimes. Mysaria tells Rhaenyra that she should look for Targaryen bastards if he's trying to get dragon riders, but then Jace goes full MAGA and turns into a super bigot because he realizes that he's not going to be the only bastard riding dragons anymore. In the dragon pit, Vermithor ain't having nothing to do with any of the bastards and proceeds to burn all of them to a crisp, except for Hugh. Meanwhile, Ulf trips into becoming Silverwing's new rider. Then Silverwing circles the block, alerting Aemon, who sees that Rhaenyra has now bolstered her forces with multiple dragons. And that has been your Midnight Manifest for The Red Sowing.
Chuck, what you got?
There's been a lot of dirt thrown on my name that I don't love this stuff anymore.
All right, we're gonna stop the cap right there.
That I'm not supportive of it. And I just want to say it's episodes like The Red Song. Like this is what I'm waiting for. This is the type of content. This is the type of TV. Fucking blown away. Just an electric hour of television. When they thought of this prequel, I feel like this is one of the moments that they were waiting to get to. When Rhaenyra is surrounded by all three dragons, I was like, we are cooking with so much fucking grease right now. Just an electric episode. What about you, Van?
Yeah, so it's interesting that you said that because that's kind of how I feel, right? When they said that the Red Wedding was the episode that they were building up to get to in the Game of Thrones television show, when they were saying, hey, we thought about everything leading up to the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding was everything that we were going to base the show around, especially early on. I kind of felt the same way, Charles. I kind of felt like this episode, with the majesty of it, the scale of it, the fact that the episode also had real human stakes in terms of the characters, along with dragony dragon stuff. This was probably the one similar to the Red Wedding where they go, hey, this is the hook. If we're going to show somebody one show to get them hooked into House of the Dragon, this would be the test show that we would show to anyone because it has everything that the show should have. So, Mint Boys, what you got?
I thought it was one of the best episodes of TV I've seen in a long time. That last like 30 minutes from everybody coming onto the island and to seeing the wonder of Hugh running in the dragon pit, and that's what it
means something to me.
It means something to me, man. It means something to me.
I was waiting for a joke.
Let me tell you something. When Vhagar flies away and Rhaenyra is surrounded by the dragons, you can ask. I was in my house going, let's go! Ooh, Team Black! Way up! I was going crazy. Like, the entire episode is awesome, but those last 30 minutes, like, to your point, is what House of the Dragon is all about. That's what it is, and it was incredible. Awesome.
Also, all the dragons, really quick, shout out to the VX team, like, for all of the shoddy CGI that I'm always like, this looks like shit. This episode looked good.
This shit was so expensive.
This is what they've been waiting for. I'm glad. Hey, they saved some money putting fucking Daemon in Hall H for an entire season.
Right.
But hey, it was worth it.
Hall H is so good. I really like that. No, this is it's tough to know what to call pinnacle Game of Thrones. Like, people could call it battles. People can call it the Red Wedding. People can call it like intimate scenes between people with high stakes and amazing characters. This episode had all of it.
Yeah.
And it had all of it happening at a level that made me forget that it was a penultimate leading into a season finale type of episode, because the ratcheting up of exciting things that have happened in this show has been so steady. Like, you could argue whether or not you like Daemon and Harrenhal. I personally do. But I think this episode has probably been some of the most electrifying things that Game of Thrones has ever given us. And to see Ulf just doing donuts in the front lawn in front of Aemond is probably the best thing I've ever seen.
So what I want to ask you, Van, watching this episode, does this episode finally give the Blacks a little bit more juice? Because for the entire season, I've felt like the Greens have just been more, they've just had more to do. Aemond, Vhagar, all of the machinations. And it's felt like Team Black because Daemon's off somewhere. And it wasn't as interesting. And this was kind of the first episode where I'm like, all right, the Blacks not only are like, they're entertaining now. Like there's enough going on where now both sides to me feel compelling. Did you feel that way watching this?
No, because I didn't feel that was the case. I thought that the show has done a pretty good job of telling the story of each side and the issues that they are dealing with, right? The Greens seem to they've been a little bit more aggressive, right? They've been a little bit more on the attack, but what's been going on the Black side of things, to me, has been very compelling. You've seen dissension within the small council. You've seen new love affairs. You've seen Jace coming into his own as a leader and now coming into his own as the J.D. Vance of Westeros. You've seen, yes, he's the J.D. Vance. And so, looking at it, I haven't really felt like the story has betrayed either side. I think
the Blacks have been a little boring.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean,
I disagree.
Well, in the books, in the books, Rhaenyra's off the board in this part of the book. She's not doing anything, right? So this is all this stuff we're watching. I think Daemon, right, is just in Harrenhal, and he's just like, yeah, I had a good time, you know. So all the stuff for the Blacks is kind of a story invention, whereas the Greens, we know like more machinations of what they were up to during this period in the book. So there's they've got stuff to pull from for the Greens, not much.
And they're making the Blacks most of it whole cloth.
Especially Alicent or Rhaenyra and Daemon. Yeah.
Well, honestly, to be honest with you, I think the way the show flows is the Blacks they're not boring to me, but they are supporting characters. And the only reason why I say they feel like supporting characters in the show is because, in my opinion, when you're watching a TV show, particularly a Game of Thrones television show, everything flows out of what's happening in King's Landing. Now, it didn't start that way at first, but then it got that way because that's what everyone is fighting for. So, like, when a show sets itself to where this is what everybody wants, and then this is what's happening outside of what everybody wants, there's a tendency to watch the show from the standpoint of this is the main hub of action where things are happening, and these are the people who are trying to either usurp that or encroach into that.
No, I understand that. And I think what this episode did for me is that finally Rhaenyra gets to be more active. This is the episode where all of the machinations start coming into its own. And we can honestly, we're talking around it right now. I think it was not my favorite or the best part of the episode, but Rhaenyra and Jace in that argument that they have was so fascinating to me. Because
it was very moving and emotional. Abject racism aside, no, for real, it's not that I'm emphasizing that. It's more of the I kind of liked both of their emotions that they were putting in the front because they weren't that way before. Yeah. They weren't giving each other that all season.
I mean, I think what is fascinating to me about Jace, and we've been talking about it this entire season, is that we never really ever get a sense what any of these rulers want besides the throne. We don't really get a sense of what would you do if you were actually on the throne? And once Jace starts basically being they're mongrels, they're not highborn, get these fucking blackies out of here. How dare they ride my dragons? Right. I was oh, Jace ain't a hero. Like, even though he's coded that way in the show, you start realizing, I'm like, oh, Jace isn't like this benevolent.
Mm-hmm. And justified or not, which it's not, it's more because when he says to his mom, like, did you think that I'd have silver hair? Like, you see the impetus of being like, oh, well, just because I don't even look a little bit like you, I've always had this on me. So then I have to punch down to think that just because I have this thing, being a dragon, that's the only thing that qualifies me for something like this. And then his,
right, I'm gonna shoot Jace some bail real quick.
Sure.
Just want everybody know, we realized that Jace wasn't talking specifically about the black people.
Oh, I know.
But
still.
When Charles, I mean, look, it's still
mongrels.
Yeah.
Like it still feels away. It feels away, right?
Yeah,
because it was his
Don't
idea.
Tell me you didn't flinch when you watched it. You didn't flinch.
And then all of a sudden, no. I watched it back a couple of times. I was like, come on, my nigga. Like,
make Westeros great again.
Like, and by the way, something else I'll say. Just you can't tell me that the people who wrote this show and have created this show didn't realize that would be a charged word.
Oh, of course,
said it that way in the context.
They knew what they were doing
of who he was talking about. They were using that to build Jace's character out a little bit for sure.
No, I mean Jace does. Here's the thing: what Jace said was fucked up, but Jace has a point. I've been saying this the entire season, where I was like, "Yo, the minute you start giving dragons to people who really have no stakes."
Right.
In this battle, honestly, I'll be real. Once the game out, what's his name? Ulf?
Ulf, yeah.
Ulf, I was just like, Ulf is Silverwing.
Like Hugh's at least got like we could tell that Hugh has a code and he's got like a lot of like moral backing behind everything that he's done for right now. But Ulf's just like
Ulf's in the dude bar, at the bar. Like, that's like giving the neighborhood drunk a dragon. I'm just like, you can.
Ulf literally Mr. Magoo his way into a dragon. Like, that just doesn't happen. But to Jace, like, the racism was crazy, right? But Jace is like, look, man, this is all I got. Right. All I got is having a dragon to my name.
I was waiting for her to be like, this is pretty much your idea, though, Jace.
Well, yeah, because he thought it was going to be other highborn people.
Right, yeah.
When you start letting the riffraff in, it's like, yo, am I still cool? That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He was like, it's like you go to a club, right? You in the section, you think you all tight, and then you start seeing other people, like, hey, this only for
He's like, first of all, we thought this was Equinox, now it's Planet Fitness.
Yeah. You know? He's like, yo, this is not, if I don't have this, if this is the only thing I don't have, then what else do I have? I don't have the hair, right? All I have is the dragon and the name. If the dragon don't matter, and they're already contesting your name, I have nothing.
Well, really, the answer to him is a very inconvenient answer, which is the interesting thing about the entire saga of Who Can Ride a Dragon. The answer to him is an inconvenient answer because the difference between him and them is completely arbitrary. It's based on convention and tradition and exclusion. If it's about blood, then these other offspring are just as much entitled to the dragon as they are. The dragon doesn't know the difference. See, all of the structures of highbornness and nobility, those are man-made creations. The dragons seemingly just go based upon whose blood is running through whose body. It's this ethereal, sort of naturalistic type of view of who can ride them. And they don't know who's highborn. They don't care. Mm-hmm. So what he's asking his mom, because in every sense of the word, if we're talking about bastards and people who aren't, in every sense of the word, he is a bastard. He's asking his mother, like, what's special about me? What's the difference between them and me? And the answer is nothing. So, I mean, for him, he's made his life about trying to tell himself the story that there's a difference. But in actuality, to the thing that actually matters, there really is no difference. The only difference is shame and acceptance, which are man-made conceits.
And it's really heartbreaking to see him like unspool at that idea. Like he's really like he's on the verge of crying to his mom, and he's like if it comes down to when these bastards want to take more of a claim than what we have, would you take it more over me or them? And
Jace got bossed.
It's not
bro.
heartbreaking.
It's not funny.
Like
Jace got bossed.
It's
not
I don't
funny,
give a fuck
but
about that shit. Rich white
it's
boy.
not-
I'm like, I'm not about to. I
gotta let
don't
us
care
on.
about what you going through.
It's not funny, but it's kind of funny because to Messiah, Rhaenyra's like, we got to build an army of bastards, right? And Jace is like, no, I'm not with y'all, man. I'm cool.
yeah,
Bro, you one of them.
mm-hmm.
The army of bastards, that's you. Those are your kinfolk. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. It's a tough thing to, like, have to reckon with. And, like, yo, I'm not as special as I thought I was.
I
It's
mean,
tough.
yo, can I just say, I did laugh a little bit. What are the official names of the dragon caretakers?
The Dragon Keepers?
The Dragon
Keeper. Worst job in Westeros,
No,
by the
the
way.
Dragon
Worst
Keepers-
job in Westeros.
They saw the bastards roll up, and it's like, hey, yo,
This is an abomination.
they're like, we
dare you.
good. They just like, you fucking up the whole. I was like,
We're going to take our sticks that do absolutely nothing and leave.
here's the thing. If I'm a dragon keeper, I'm just like, the minute I saw my homie have to slit his throat last episode,
gone.
I would have been gone.
Yeah, that's the breaking
Yeah,
point.
this is the breaking point for y'all.
This is it. We
Well,
are
I mean,
long
my thing
past
is
that.
this. I felt like I felt like they left not necessarily because it was this protest. I felt like the protest was capped. I think they left because they knew it was about to be some more fire.
Yeah, we're getting out of here.
I think they saw like, look, man, you done brought these people in here before. We ain't had nobody burnt in here in like 50 years. Remember the time Tony came in here? He was drunk. He got burnt and like that. But that was Tony's fault because he was throwing rocks at the dragons and he was like, tapping on the dragon cage and all of that. Tony did that. We ain't had nobody burnt. Our ocean safety rule, we've had 5,000 days in a row with no dragon burnings.
Reset
And then
the
all
clock.
of a sudden you bring somebody in here and they get burnt up. And now you want to bring more people in here. We gonna get burnt up. We out. And guess what happened? People got burnt up.
Man, that entire scene.
Where was the Dragon Keepers at? Chilling, drinking a macchiato. Like I told you, niggas was gonna get burnt up. That
Do you
girl
think
crazy.
they were on Westeros Twitter just laughing? They just
Talking
like,
shit.
I told y'all. Here's the thing. I feel like all the dragons are like black auntie coded because like Vermithor and Sea Smoke, they like, yo, don't bring these bums up in my house. They like all the dragons be pissed.
What does Silverwing mean then? Because she picked Ulf.
All right, here's the thing. Silverwing, if I gotta be real, she didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
She's
She
like, she did.
Ulf killed one of the babies.
Man, here's the thing.
Man.
She had been gone for like in that little corner for so long.
She
I
was a
just feel like
stay-at-home
she doesn't-
mom. She just needed an adventure. She needed to get out.
She honestly just didn't really have enough respect for herself.
First come, first see.
It was just like it was because I was like, out of all these motherfuckers, I would also Vermithor. He was not fucking with the first homie. I felt really, really bad.
Oof.
Like the one with the fucked up eye. I was like, this is
Oh, yeah. His face was in italics. It wasn't great.
so. Also, did you guys in this episode? I did think this episode did a really, really good job of kind of teasing that Rhaenyra might have a little bit too much dip on her chip. Because when she was like looking at Vermithor burning everyone,
I love how quickly she leaves.
I
I
was
love how
like-
quickly she's like, all right, now let's walk up to the mezzanine level and watch.
No.
that was a
Not me,
little
y'all getting
evil.
me?
I was like Rhaenyra. I was like, this is kind of fucked up. She
Nah,
wasn't doing anything.
Respect Rhaenyra. First of all, Emma Darcy, the entire episode was in
Amazing.
their bag. Like that was like the kind of performance that you talked
You
about.
didn't get any like, oh, she's letting this go to her head.
No, from
What the hell she gonna
Yeah.
do?
That's what I'm saying. Like
She literally invited all these people to. It's called the Red Sewing.
Okay,
It's
so
like,
look,
what?
so here's the
hold
deal.
on.
So here's the thing. So two things about the dragon choosing scene and all of that stuff. I think it's very interesting because it asks a question about what the people in this world would do to be nobility. A lot of the Game of Thrones stories that we watch are about noble people fighting, and we don't get a lot of time with the small folk and what they're going through. To watch what the small folk might be willing to subject themselves to in order to have a different life, especially after episode of looking at their lives and the circumstances of it, was really interesting. I mean, they literally are setting themselves on fire so that some of the other ones can keep warm. Literally. Number two, with her, this is kind of an interesting situation from her because this is her ruling in the Westeros way, being willing to sacrifice smaller people under her to get what she wants, right?
Mhm.
And so there is a little bit of a heel turn there because she forces herself to experience it and watch what the ramifications of her decision are. It's kind of a sacrifice in terms of some of her character is kind of looked at least to me, as being like almost inherently good, like she doesn't do much wrong. But this is the first time that I can look at her and be like, from the last and be like, oh, she's fucked up. But I certainly didn't expect her to jump in there and take Dragonfire for somebody. Jomi, did you?
No, heck no. I mean, she gives the speech. Benham's like, hey man, y'all got this thing, hey, what we gonna do is we gonna elevate you. You know what I'm saying? And it's
some
garbage.
real cult shit, by the way.
It's
very cult ass shit.
It's played very religiously, right? And then they get there and they start burning. And I think she does have a look of, this is not going well. Not in the sense of all these people are dying, but like, we're kind of losing dragons. You know what I mean? And so you don't feel like Rhaenyra is in an emotion of like, oh no, I did all this for nothing, right? It's not a thing. To Van's point, it's not a thing of, oh man, I'm losing the goodwill.
Right.
All this is more like nobody's gonna fight these dragons. That's
Honestly,
all she's worried about.
I don't know what Rhaenyra would have done mentally, even to know that like if the red sewing didn't work, like that's square -5, not just 0.
Yeah,
for her. And I think that she wanted to sit with that, like, and actually subject herself to watching that because she's got to know that this should have been worth it.
Yeah. Did it work? Basically, yeah.
Right.
Did this work?
I mean, but also to Jace's point, you kind of have to run background checks. I'm not going to hold you.
You know what? Favorite little touch of that scene when she's like kind of giving the pep talk is when her Kingsguard like kind of bumps into her and he's got his hand on the sword.
Oh man.
And Emma Darcy does this amazing thing where they're like, okay, it's
like
fun.
relax.
All right,
Yeah,
easy.
relax. Yeah.
And that being the tone setter for this entire thing of like everybody's on edge. Nobody likes this plan. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Well,
these dragons could go insane if they do this and just burn all of Dragonstone to the ground.
Rhaenyra knows what's going to happen, and so that
does she?
Well, yeah. She just saw what happened with Stephen Darkland. That's the thing about that speech is that she knows, hey, some of you will get burnt to death.
Right. And like Lord Farquaad.
Like that's literally, some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Yeah, you have to do the whole, like I said, the whole pep talk, because you know that at the end of the day, if some people survive, they'll be like, yo, you killed all those people. That was kind of insane, right? Unless you're off and Hugh, like that lady who survived, Hugh,
shout out to Hugh saving that woman's life.
Is she gonna be like, yo, man, that was crazy, huh?
Now, what does she get? What does that saved
she
woman
gonna go
get?
back to Westeros like, yo, they burned all my homies.
No, you can't.
No. If I'm Rhaenyra,
Exactly.
if I'm
You can't send
Rhaenyra,
her back to
anybody,
Westeros.
you
You
can't.
can't send her.
If I'm Rhaenyra,
she's gotta stay.
Either you
with them
stay
now.
Dragonstone.
Like,
Stay in Dragonstone.
To me, she got to stay in Dragonstone. To me now, because like the reality is, if number one, if you send her back, she's just gonna talk mad shit. That's the first thing. She's gonna start a podcast.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
like it's like you
Start
like
a
if
podcast.
you can't like you
Red
like
talk,
you can't
like-
you can't
Red keep
send her
talk?
back. Like Red keep talk. Like you can't send her back. Like she gotta at least eat the nice lamb for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Put her
But
up in an apartment.
The thing
like,
that I liked about the thing that I liked about that scene though is the dragon looked at him and was like, "Oh, finally one that's not pussy." He looked at him and was like, "All right, cool." He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All of y'all look jealous."
Open Silverwing.
Again, it was first come, first
Oh,
serve.
Silverwing is different. Silverwing depends on whether or not you like a dom or a sub.
Ooh,
Like Silverwing is
what's the Silverwing dynamic here?
single mom.
Single mom, stay at home
Silverwing
mom.
Silverwing likes a sub. So when Silverwing saw Ulf down there going through the mud and all of that stuff, Silverwing was like, yeah, I can see me putting a ball gag in his mouth and like, the whole
all right.
So he likes all that.
My head
He likes
being
to
like,
sub.
Silverwing's just been staying at home a bit too long.
Yeah.
She's been taking care of the kids. Some wayward soul from the bar. He's adventurous. He smokes cigarettes. He's a little cool looking.
That's
He
what
can
you
tell a
into,
story.
Steve?
That's what Silverwing wants. She wants some adventure. She wants a guy that's going to take her out.
Silver, it was really cute though. I'm not gonna lie.
It was cute. It was.
Because Silver Ring is like nudging off, like just off the rip. You know, it was like that. It's the connection. Made you feel something. To your point earlier about how they looked in the CJ and all that stuff. I mean, that entire scene, like when Rhaenyra's touching Vermithor and like his eyes, and then the entire like the Wonder action scene was awesome. To Hugh and Vermithor having that connection, I was like, not only does this look incredible, man. I feel.
Oh my God! I almost cried when Hugh was just like yelling at him.
Vermithor's like, "Hey man,
It's like, all right,
that's okay. All right, that's okay. We can work something out, little homie. Let's do
you
it."
look like the Witcher.
But also, I gotta
It was
be real.
good.
Speaking of other dragons, Corlys ain't shit, bro. Corlys was
Oh, we
so
gotta-
nervous that
oh,
entire
no,
episode.
no,
He was like,
Well,
he walks up to Adam.
Can I say something real quick? I've tried my best to defend Corlys over these last 7 episodes.
Indefensible.
I'm sorry, I ain't got nothing for him. That's some of the most deadbeat dad shit
man.
I've ever seen in my entire
Real
life.
shit, heel dad
He's
shit.
the worst.
And I gotta.
He's not putting on for us,
I have to
man.
say this. I have to say this, man. I have to say this. We've seen the bastards exist on Game of Thrones since the beginning of the show. Everybody had a bastard, right? Everyone had a bastard. Ed Stark kind of had a bastard, not really, right? But we were led to believe that he had a bastard. Everybody had these bastards. Why is it when they take the one time to explore the mentality and the psychology of the bastard son relationship, you have this nigga walking into a room like he fucking Tristan Thompson or Sean Kemp, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like why the one time they take to explore the bastard relationship, because they didn't really get into it too deep with Lord Bolton or with any of the other people that we know have bastards. Now we're negotiating it. And this motherfucker here looked crazy. He looked like he was the first pick in the NBA draft, 1984. And like, you know what I'm saying? And his son somewhat Duncan is like, boy, like that's what it's weird. It's like I felt away. I'm like, this is
Corlys even being like, yeah, I didn't really do my research on your mom's heritage. I'm like, I have to be real.
And by the way, telling this to the son that he wanted to do good shit for, not even Adam.
Right.
Yeah, I as black people, we did fight. We were just like, why can't there be any black people in Game of Thrones? And this is when it backfires a little bit, because when you put the black people in, sometimes I'm like, we go into tropes that are a little damaging, and now I look at Corlys a little bit differently. I just do. He ain't shit.
It's
well, to be fair, Ned, I'll tell you about your mother. That's not gonna work out either.
All right, here, whoa. Ned,
I think it's
Ned
more
was keeping a prompt. Ned was keeping a prompt.
Yeah, Ned, it was the whole,
Sure.
I mean, that was Ned's whole thing. He was too noble, he was too honest,
Right.
the entire thing. Corlys go to King or goes to Dragonstone, right? Sees his other son. This is like, hey man, congrats on the dragon. You get paid. I'm gonna go talk to your brother who ain't got a dragon who I like more. I'm gonna see you. That's crazy.
Men would rather send bastards of Targaryens to fire than go to therapy and talk to their son.
Think about it.
That's the kind of thing.
He got one son that do want to sail, another son that don't want to sail.
Yeah.
Don't really want to mess with either of them.
Right.
But the one he liked the boats. So
can you honor your dead wife's wishes?
That's
and like
crazy.
Maybe
His main. Rhaenys was just like, hey, yo, it's cool. Just accept him. Just claim him.
Yeah.
He can't even do it. Like, she's
Claim
dead.
the kids.
Just claim him.
Bro.
It's not great.
That's bad, man.
real bad.
I try my
now,
best.
do y'all
but it's
remember
over,
when
man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, his son Joseph
Oh God,
Biden,
don't.
like,
Yes.
you remember that?
Yeah.
So I remember working at TMZ, right? when Joseph Baena, when the Joseph Baena stills dropped, right? When he dropped, like he was a new PlayStation. When Joseph Baena dropped, because this was when
like a new,
like a hot
Patrick
single.
Schwarzenegger and all of the rest of the Schwarzeneggers were first. We were starting to get to know them, and then it was like Arnold dropped a new one on us, a new Arnold, and I looked at the pictures and I started to laugh. And everybody was like, why are you laughing? And I'm like, because he looks just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I'm like, y'all don't understand this because you guys come from functional homes. It's always funny when you meet the outside kids and they look exactly like like the kid that'll be the daddy's son. He looked kind of like him. You know how John David Washington looks kind of like Denzel Washington, but you really got to look, right?
Yeah.
If Denzel had an outside kid somewhere, it would be a little nigga walking around going, my man, looking exactly like Denzel Washington. And what's happening with Corlys right now is like kind of the same thing. He keeps looking for someone to give his legacy to, right? His other son, had to go West Hollywood. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that they couldn't give his legacy to him, but he had to go escape to go live his own life. Yeah. And that was one of the best parts of this season. Then he tries to give it to his granddaughter. His children, the ones that are set directly in his mold, are right in front of him. They're right in front of him. But the weird, arbitrary, odd rules of their society stop him from embracing his progeny in a very direct way and handing to them. He needs them now. Everybody needs them now. It's right there. They look just like him. They talk just like him. Not that his son Berenice didn't. He just was raised in nobility and had a different way that he wanted to go about things. But I feel like this episode was great because of the dragon stuff, but also because it asks a lot of questions about whether or not a lot of the stuff that their little society is built on is stupid. And Corlys being a deadbeat, coming in there, it's kind of, it was funny, but I was just kind of, I'm going to be honest with you, I was like, man, why they got the nigga on this shit, man? Like, I was like,
it's tough.
You don't think I was like why they got him on it?
I did feel away.
Like
I did feel away.
Can I say who I want to claim?
Let's talk about the Oscar.
That's
Oscar.
Yeah, that's who I was gonna say. That's who I want to claim as a son. That's who I'm so proud of.
Like
Oscar Tully, man.
Like
Oscar's my guy.
Oscar the man, bro.
Oscar the Grouch is my guy.
Oscar put Damon in his place using
he put him in a 360
mind meld tactics. That's how Sister Sage should have been. Like Oscar put Damon like using mind meld tactics. Give me, Steve, you like white people. Give us what you think about Oscar.
Well, as a big fan of white people, no, I loved Oscar. It's so funny because he's clearly coming back and feeling slighted after that one scene, being like, you're of no use to me without your grandsire dead. And until that happens, I'm just sitting here with a thumb up my ass, and you should too. And the moment that he comes back, he's trying to size Damon up, and he is not a physical nor domineering threat to Damon. But he quickly, and you can see in his face and in his tone, finds his way to get what he needs out of both the river folk and Damon in a very slow and pragmatic and cautious way. Like, you could see him think, you can see him calculate what he needs of Damon and how that can easily be swayed. What I love is how scared Damon is about how played he feels at the end of this interaction. Because if it takes nothing but a boy to shake me from this thing that I thought I had a handle on, I'm fucked. And shout out to Oscar. Like, it was one of the
Can I ask you guys a question? Seriously. Serious question.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know that Damon is a bad motherfucker. We know. Is
Right.
Damon an idiot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I think Damon, the way I read Damon is that like Damon is actually like very talented as like a military mind.
Mhm.
Like when he's on a mission, like he's gonna get the job done. But I do think that he always has too much dip on his chip when it comes to actually ruling, actually
Right.
doing the politics side of shit.
Yes.
Where it's like it takes a child to be like to read very fast and be like, motherfucker, you need me more than I need
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Like, and even when Oscar looks at him and calls him in a very pointed way, King Regent, the
Mhm.
only thing that Damon wants these people to do is be like, oh no, I'm the king.
Right.
And a child being like, you not the king, bro, we're doing this for Rhaenyra. Fucking chop this motherfucker's head off and shut the fuck up.
And you can see it in that scene too, where Damon's just like, I gotta do what this kid telling me to do. He's like seething. It's just like
Mhm.
this little he got one on me.
And
Cut
it's
his
not
head
even the
off.
fact that he got one on him. It's the fact that Damon doesn't have either the patience or wherewithal to actually be diplomatic like this. He didn't have to tell that guy to kill all those people. He didn't have to like threaten people with dragons. He didn't have to do all these things, but that's the things that he knows. He doesn't have an emotional vocabulary in order to interact with the ways that the river people do, in order to actually get them on their side. I don't need them to love me. I just need their swords. Well, you're not going to get too far without actually understanding them even a little bit if that's your approach. And Oscar clocks this. So he's like, okay, what can I see that Damon has done that he will understand the consequences in order for us to actually honor this oath? And that's perfectly illustrated
Oscar-
in that final.
Oscar clocked way more than that. Oscar,
Yeah.
he clocked that, but Oscar didn't just read Damon. Oscar, this motherfucker, like,
He sowed peace
he
amongst
a
the
G.
people.
Oscar read Damon. Oscar read his people.
The
He
River
said,
Lords.
the River Lords is like, this is my one opportunity. Look, I'm a little nigga. This is my
Yeah.
this is kind of what I be trying to get y'all to do. What Oscar does. Oscar saw his opportunity,
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
play people against each other, right? Oscar said, this is my one chance, the one chance where I have leverage to make him do what I want, to X out someone who obviously went way too far in executing something on behalf of Damon, that the rest of the people to kill their feud between each other, or at least mitigate it, right? And really set myself as an intellectual and kind of a military authority with all of these people. He took that and he executed it.
Yeah.
Like that was as far as I'm the new kid on the block scene in Game of Thrones, that's one of the best I'm here now scenes in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I
he's
think
set
I've
for
ever
life.
seen.
I mean,
He's set for life in
honestly,
the Riverlands now.
What it reminded me of, my favorite time in like a rapper's journey is like when they're the little nigga in the crew. Like when Lil Wayne was starting to pop and he was beefing with Birdman, he's like, I'm gonna go sign with Jay-Z. And Birdman had to be like, God damn, like, all right, you the man. Or when like Kanye was just like, Jay-Z's like, I hate this motherfucker. And then Kanye got one hit and Jay's like, all right, you get a Rockefeller chain. We just gotta do it. Oscar Tully's like, dog, I got a hit record. Y'all motherfuckers better sign me. It was just like he had a swag to him. I'm just like, you love to see when a little man comes up. And the River Lords, when he's just like, hey, Damon, you need to execute this motherfucker. The River Lord's like, God damn, where's they all in that moment?
And,
Like,
it's not even 10 minutes before that one guy's like, I'm not listening to you. You're younger than my sons. Why would I give a fuck about you? And then by the end of that scene, he's like,
He's like,
Lord
hey?
speaks true.
I mean, even speaking of that, Damon was like, I had no use for you. He was talking cash when they was inside.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Tully started cooking, they was like, oh, my fault, OG. I didn't respect your game. I wasn't familiar with your game. It does remind me of Liliana Mormont from Game of Thrones. You know, like the little person
Little Lily.
who's out there doing a thing. Like, he got it. Oscar Tully, he got that thing on him.
I mean, speaking of
Damon a bitch.
Damon,
Damon,
all right, whoa,
Damon, like,
he is.
Kind of. Kinda.
Like Damon, like, look, this season, because we're gonna eventually get the big Aemon Damon face off that we needed, and when we get it, like I said before, the power dynamic probably has to shift, where Damon is a little bit of the underdog, and Aemon has gained some power because of how we saw it the last time they were about to face off, and Aemon fucking cowered from him. But they've nerfed the shit out of Damon this season, man. Damon is being led around by his nose and his goddamn sword by everyone. He's seeing ghosts. Alice got him fucked up. The little dude just made him kill. Damon is just a wind-up toy. His trauma has him on various dummy missions that in no way does it seem like he's in control of himself right now.
Can I say, a lot of people are having the same complaints as you, Van, and I understand where that's coming from. I personally like the stuff that's going on with Damon only because it seems like
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said they have him on a dummy mention. Yeah.
Sure. And I think that because the way that the books have been structured, it's just like more or less like 30 sentences in the book of being like, Damon is away at Harrenhal. And when he comes back, he's like, I had a fine time and I was immune to the powers of Alice Rivers and nothing else really happened. I liked this idea that in my headcanon, like Damon would never tell anybody about this, about him having the worst time of his life at this place, that a witch fucked with his whole head and he completely lost his way. And he was trying to like having like an emotion, like a dark night of the soul with about whether or not he actually wants to be with his, to have the throne and like envisioning his brother and all these things. I've liked that emotional journey. It is interesting to know that we would have to keep coming back to that. It needs to come to a bit of a fore now for the finale because he's too far separated from almost everything now, it seems, emotionally.
So can I ask y'all something that I was like, not confused about, but I clocked? And it happens in King's Landing when Larys is talking to the homie and he's like, yo, I got some tea. Sea Smoke got a rider. And Larys is like, let's keep that in the tuck. Let's not tell.
Call
Aemon.
us. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Do you think he was saying that because Larys is now like, fuck Aemon? I'm not giving him anything that could help him. I'm putting all my chips in the Aegon. What? Why was he just like, hey, slow down?
I think it's twofold. I think one is that Aegon dissed him.
Yeah, bad.
And he doesn't want to do anything to make not Aegon.
Aemon.
I think that Aemon dissed him and he doesn't want to do anything to make Aemon more powerful. And then secondly, I just don't think he had that much faith in the information. And he not only did he not have faith in the information, he didn't see a way to spin it for himself.
Right.
Well, also you got to remember,
he's both realized his limitations with Aemon, and he's trying to get Aegon strong again. And when he asked him to tell him how he knew, it was like this person told this person, told this person, told this person, and he didn't have a lot of faith in the information.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember also in that scene with Ironrod, they're sending Aemon's sending people to the wall. He's sending Aegon's old buddies to the wall. You don't want to get caught up with a guy like that who's just going to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to go send you to take the black. Like, it was just very much a show of power. And so they're like, do you want to tell that guy the bad news? This is not really what it's like. They're like, yeah, he got it.
Jomi the Explainer, while you're on mic talking, can you set this stage for me?
Okay.
Dragon for dragon.
Uh-huh.
Sides. What's the sides? Because if we start with the blacks, who are now the official dragon riders?
So if we start with the blacks, you have Cyrax with Rhaenyra, Caraxes with Daemon, Jace has Vermax, Bela has Moondancer. Then we have Ulf on Silverwing, Hugh on Vermithor, and Adam has Sea Smoke.
And then potentially there will be an eighth if Rhaena can get the dragon at the Vale under her control.
Yeah.
Potentially. So 7 or 8. So then who's on the green side?
On the green side, you have Aemon has Vhagar, obviously. And then Dreamfire with Helena. and they keep mentioning Darren and Tessarian. So that's 3 for the Greens. So
they only have 3. And is it confirmed if Aegon's dragon is alive or not?
no, they killed Sunfire. Rest in peace.
All right, so that's
long in the dying.
So
Sunfire.
wait, 8 dragons to 3?
You know, it's a little bit of a mismatch.
Did you guys see the season finale teaser? When fucking Ahlman rolls up on the sister, he's like, "Hey, we gonna need you to hop on that." Yeah. I was like, "What's she gonna do?"
Helena has nothing but a bad time every time she goes outside.
I
just want to stay in my room with my crickets. Don't fuck with me,
alone. Let
please.
her play with her crickets, bro.
Speaking of the Black's dragons, you know what they really are? they're the Miami Heat of Westeros, bro. Right? In terms of Rhaenyra's basically was like, "Yo, we need some two-way guys. We need some G Leaguers. Let's come on. We got to make some happen." She's trying to be the Eric Spoelstra. She's trying to take Haywood Highsmith and Caleb Martin, and Duncan Robinson to the chip. Shout out. They doing their thing.
Do you think, Van, that any of the new dragon riders, do they have enough aura? Because some of these people, like, maybe they'll grow into it, but they don't really got dragon rider aura to me. To Jomi's point, they do kind of seem like some G Leaguers.
Man, let me tell you something right now. Ulf is taking that dragon around the world. If you think that Ulf can get on that dragon and go and fight somebody, Ulf is taking that dragon around the world. That's the wrong type of guy to give a dragon. Adam is the right type of guy to give a dragon. I'll tell you why. Adam got all of these daddy issues. He just want to prove himself. He bent the knee immediately, gets down.
Immediately.
Like, hey, I need to have a dragon. I have a dragon. Selfless. She's like, oh my God. She's like, oh, you bent the knee pretty easy, motherfucker. What's up with you? What you on? And he's like, yeah, I just want to serve. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk about my dad. Don't ask me about that nigga. I don't want to talk about
no one of consequence.
No one of consequence is crazy.
You know who he was like? He was like that Kerm poem. You know what I mean? Like the poem
what?
that Kerm did up here.
Oh,
the poem that Kerm did.
I thought you said Kerm porn, and I'm like, what, sir?
That too. Kerm looked like he could be.
All right, stop.
You got him. You got Kerm. That Love Island shit. You just you're like Kerm. What you been up to? Let's move on.
So
Hugh's got it though. Hugh's got it.
He goes, Hugh could be cool. Hugh could be cool. Hugh might come back and be like, baby, look what I got. He might go back to rescue his family. You have to wonder about what individual missions they might be on,
All right, I'm going to be real. Hugh ain't worth shit. I saw Hugh's wife. I'm like, and my wife is just like, yo, let's just run away. You don't need to be doing all this.
Our baby died, by the way. Our daughter just died.
I was like, God.
No, that's a horrible, that was such a sad scene. I was so busted up about that scene.
I was like, fuck you. If Hugh left his shoddy, just alone, I don't know.
Yeah, but
that is bad.
But you pull up in a Phantom. You know what I'm saying?
She said
that's not going to bring your daughter back.
She said she didn't want that. She loves this man for him. She don't want none of that Targaryen mess. I mean, she just wants him. That's a good woman.
Look, baby, I'm gonna take you on this dragon back. We're gonna put you in a nice little spot. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be a little different.
But I do I do understand that shitty pride aspect of we've lost everything, we have nothing, we'll do nothing. I'm supposed to be this thing that my mom talked about, and we have nothing left. I'm just going to go for it, and it's going to hurt you, but it's only going to give me purpose, or what I think purpose should be.
So
that's so heartbreaking.
Book readers.
Well, I mean, at this point, his daughter has died. He's willing to brave Dragonfire in order to procure some sort of better life for his family. It's something that he has to explore now. I mean, it probably took him to get to that place. When he's standing in front of Vermithor, he's ready to die. He's ready to die, and he's probably ready to die because he's lost so much. He knows he can't keep going like that, which is to me the reason why, to Charles's point, the motivations of these new Dragon Riders are going to be pretty interesting. Jomi, you said it like the Heat, but the one thing you got to do to be a member of the Heat is that you have to buy into
The heat
heat
culture.
culture.
Dragonstone culture.
The question is,
Dragonstone culture.
have any of these people bought into fire culture? That
Hell no.
fire culture.
Maybe. Well,
Have they,
we'll
that,
see
what-
next
what
week.
is that fire culture? Have they bought into? I don't know if they have, man. I really don't. Maybe
Well, it's only-
Adam. That's it.
It's only
Yeah,
been.
maybe.
It's just training camp. You know what I'm saying? We gotta put. You know what they do in the heat training camp? They measure your weight, and you gotta make weight. Like it's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So
You gotta make
Yeah.
weight.
you gotta make weight. There's
Gotta drink a
who's
shit ton of water.
Who's the Udonis Haslam of Team Black? Who's the guy? Who's
For
the
the,
guy?
don't have
now,
one.
for the uninitiated who might not know who Udonis Haslam is,
He was the bastion of heat culture. He played there for 20 years. Really only played for like 16. But for the last like 5 years of his career, he was just a dude on a bench getting paid $2 million.
okay, so just
to
hanging
yell at
out
people.
for vibes
Exactly,
and money.
right? They might not have a Udonis Haslam, which might be a problem.
The problem is
Right?
that's the problem. The problem is they don't have a stalwart. They don't have a Udonis Haslam. They don't know what they are right now. That's why you say they're the Heat, but unfortunately, they're actually more like the Lakers because they. I'm just being honest with you. The Heat have a way to vet people, and you have to make the Lakers just be trying shit. Christian Wood, Cam Reddish. Like, you can't tell me that Ulf is
That's
not
crazy.
the Cam Reddish of Westeros. Like, Christian Wood, he could be good. It might work. Like, so really they're trying shit. But in a preseason poll, you bring Russell Westbrook on in a preseason when she was standing right there and all those dragons were behind her. That's the cover of a preseason magazine. That is actually the picture.
That's Slam
of
magazine
Steve
cover
Nash,
right
And Dwight
Steve
Howard? Don't
Nash,
do that.
Kobe, Dwight Howard. That's that same picture.
Now,
We
this
don't
is
know
gonna be
whether or not
fun.
it's going to work, but it looks like it's going to work. But who knows how they play together?
I will say the funniest shit ever, bro, was when Aemon is on Vagar. He's chasing after Silverwing. And all them dragons are dragons. So like, yo, come outside. We ain't gonna jump you. He like, Aemon's like, hey, oh, like, relax, let's go.
Come
Vagar
outside,
wanted
we
all the
won't
smoke,
jump
though. Vagar wanted all the smoke. He was like, hey, he told her like multiple times, hey,
Like, no.
Hey, we got it.
Oh, no. Here's the thing. This is why I judge Rhaenyra at that moment. I'm jumping Vagar. Like, I'm like,
Jump him right now. Do it.
do right now. I'm just like, there's
The
one
Dragon Riders aren't experienced enough.
That's true.
They're
They
not
got to run some
experienced
drills.
enough.
They got to run
You
some
don't got
drills.
Jason's right there.
Nah, it's
No,
not the same.
no.
Boy,
They're not
Vagar,
ready.
Jace dragging a bitch.
Respect Verbex. Respect
Jace
Verbex.
dragging a bitch. Boy, I tell you what, boy, but that nigga Vagar was begging for a body.
Vagar
He
wanted
wanted
all of it. Vagar wanted all of it.
Vagar was begging for a body. Vagar like, hey, Dad, you can't see these niggas pussy? I'm telling you, they right there.
No, the other
they
dragons was
right
talking
there, but
mad shit though in unison. They was like, "Yo,
Mad
Vagar, come out, come.
What you want? What you
What you
want?
want, nigga?
Come on.
I like the one
Well,
that was
they
really
probably
far
brought-
away.
I
They're
bet-
just like,
Dog." So wait,
Hey, bro, y'all been in them situations. Probably not Steve, but y'all been in them situations when there was like always it's either a group of homies or one homie that's like, "Hey, bro, let's just get to it, bro. He right there, bro. He right there." You're like, "Nah, man, nah. You don't see them niggas behind him. Nah, man, fuck them niggas, bro. He right there, bro. Damn." And then your homeboy always look at you like, "Wait a minute, nigga, are you a bitch?" Because you say it's up, but it's not going. I'm telling you, bro. All right, let's go. And then you go over there and get your ass whooped. But I'm not sure. I will say this. I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, are we not ready?
ready.
We're not ready. In the pantheon of Game of Thrones episodes, is this a top 1% Game of Thrones episode ever? Is this a top 1%?
For sure.
I don't want to say recency bias. I will say if there's like a top 10, I think this might be the only House of the Dragon episode so far that I'm like can go toe to toe with some of the best Game of Thrones that we've ever gotten. Like this was one where I was
disagree
like,
with that, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
No. That's not me saying that like the other House of the Dragon episodes have been bad, but this was the moment where I'm like, okay, if you guys land the plane, House of the Dragon can be a different type of show than Game of Thrones. This
Yes.
is the one where I was like, oh, we're diverging now, and you can be your own man. You can stand on your own.
This feels like an elevation for sure.
Yeah.
And I think if 2 really hit, or 2, the finale of 2 really hits like we think it might, I think that this will be up there for sure.
Again, one of my favorite episodes of TV I've seen. Just incredible. I think when I talk about my favorite Game of Thrones, like the entire universe episodes, this is definitely like in my top 5.
Only wasted scene? Allison's little nature hike?
What the fuck? Nah. Here's the thing. Allison's my queen now. Like, honestly, she's looking good.
So you've become familiar with Olivia Cook's
yeah,
game.
Man.
And all right.
Let her do her back.
Team Green.
If that was me, we were talking crazy. All
Why?
right, cool.
What?
Why?
No,
Listen, she brings you out and she's like, no.
He gets to dabble in the milk.
No,
but-
hey,
guys,
just you, Charles. Just you and me in the woods.
Oh,
hey.
hell yeah. I'm like, yo, Allison.
Is that guard shooting a shot?
We could go
What does
pick
that mean?
oranges and cinnamon. I'm doing my Kristen Cole shit. I'm like, let's get out of here, bruh.
Nah, she literally was like, I just need to go into the woods. Like, I just need to go outside.
That's how you know a white woman is down bad. When
She wants to
gotta
go on a
to
hike.
the woods.
She wants to go on a hike.
Go on a hike.
Let's go to Runyon.
Look,
Find
come on.
ourselves.
Look,
Literally
I'll be
touch
honest, Runyon.
grass.
I'll be honest with you. Allison, like, if I could do one thing in this show, it would be to send Allison and Rhaenyra on a spa day together. These are some stressed out women. These might be the 2 most stressed out ladies in television history.
Bring Masari
Like
in
they
there
are
too.
like Allison.
You are a freak, bro.
I know what you familiar with your game.
Steve?
Nah, you
Masari?
tried to
Honestly,
slide
I would
that in there.
I just want to see a
watch.
fight. I just want to see a fight.
I would watch. That's all.
Hey, you know what? They didn't go back to that this episode. I
They
was
did not.
expecting a little.
Back to
They
business,
did
something a little-
briefly. They did briefly because here's the thing. Not only is Jace a racist, that motherfucker homophobic as fuck.
I
He's
don't
like,
know.
No, I think he's just. I'm sick of having new parents.
Yeah,
so he's like, you got this
yeah.
idea from Massaria?
It's not about the phobia. It's more like, look, man,
I'm tired of all this.
Simon Strong, Damon, Massaria. You can't just keep putting people in my life and taking them out.
And he's an
You know what
angsty
I'm saying?
teenager. Like he's got a chip on his shoulder always.
Pick one, please.
Whoa,
I
whoa,
can't
whoa.
be out
We are
here.
a sex
He
positive podcast.
was just starting to not become a bitch, and then he doubled back for some more. Like he it was a bad Jace episode, man. It was not a great Jace episode today, bruh. It wasn't, man. You know, either dye your fucking hair or
Take some notes from Oscar Tully.
bruh, either dye your hair or get the fuck over it, bruh. I hate, bruh, I gotta be honest with y'all. There's nothing that I hate more than rich boy angst.
Yeah.
I knew guys
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
Would come around and be like, man, my dad hasn't been here in a month and a half, man. My parents got divorced. I would be like, hey, good. What the fucking Neo Geo arcade game system, man? Let's play that bitch. Cause my dad here every day and I love him and the lights got cut off. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Let's go to the country club. We used to go to the country club.
Chet Hanks.
Bro, he is, bro.
Chet
We used to go to the country club and the dude, like, I was with one of my homies one time and we went to the country club and he noticed that they poured the wine wrong.
Oh, for God.
I was like, what? He was like, let me tell you how they're supposed to pour the wine. He's like, you're supposed to pour the wine like this so the wine doesn't spill. After you tell me something like that, I don't want to hear you fucking complain about anything after that. And that's what Jace is getting into. Jace, either dye your hair and get into the situation or go straight bastard, name your name, Drace Glass Sand, or whatever it would be, and go hang out with them.
Glass sand. It's a dude.
What is the name of you if you're a bastard from
A Targaryen?
from Dragonstone? What is it?
Let's see.
If you're a
Dragonstone
Dragonstone bastard, then are you Jace? You Jace Dragontooth?
Drace.
That was hard as fuck.
It would be Waters.
Yeah, water. No, or stone. It's
Or
stone.
stone?
It's stone.
Is it?
Some of the veils of the bastards called stone, sometimes far enough rather than may ask to legitimize the bastard's son. Oh no, it's Waters.
It's Waters.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's Waters.
All
Man,
right.
this AI shit.
Oh,
All
it's
right, so
Waters.
before we get out of here, temp check. If the season finale lands the plane, where are we thinking Midnight Meter on season 2? Like if
I don't
they
want to do
land
this. I don't want to do preemptive Midnight Meter before the season finale.
you don't?
Because then Charles, this is what you do, which is why you can't enjoy anything. Because
well, I enjoyed this.
Oh, we might be
I
onto
enjoyed
something.
this season. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
All right,
you don't.
man.
You and by the way, I want to say something because you're capping. We didn't say that you don't enjoy fantasy stuff or this because you'll watch Naruto y'all should have seen Charles get so excited when we walked by the Naruto booth.
This did not happen at all. All right,
It did.
This
We
not
walked by
happen.
we walked by the Naruto booth, and like I saw Charles, like he made a face. He was like, "Ooh." I was like, "What the fuck?"
This
is
did
going
not
on?
happen, but I did walk by the Demon Slayer booth, and like Lil Tanjiro and Nezuko with the big heads came out as mascots, and I literally was like waving
what
at
I'm
them.
saying?
I'm like, "Yo, Tanjiro, my dude!" So yeah,
Oh! So we say very specifically, Charles, you
I do
don't
like
like superheroes.
My Hero
You- like, we say
Academia.
very
I love My
specifically-
Hero Academia.
How about
That
Mob
doesn't
Psycho?
count.
I love Mob Psycho.
Okay. There you
That
go.
does count.
No,
See, you are closed
None of that
minded.
stuff counts.
You closed fucking minded.
that's true. That's true. That's facts.
And
I'm
also,
closed-minded.
it's not my fault. It's not my fault that the MCU is fucking in a dumpster. It's not my fault.
It's not just the MCU. If it was just the MCU, I could get it. It's the MCU. It's the boys. It's anything to where Americans have powers. You don't like it.
I
Well, it's
think
any-
that the world would be a
it's-
better
it's
place
any-
if Americans
it's
if Americans had
anything-
less power.
Well, maybe I should. I don't know that I even agree with that. I think but I will say this.
All right.
Sure.
And now it's
Yeah,
now
I
it's
don't-
Red Talk with the lady that
Red Keep
survived.
Talk.
Red
Red
Keep
Keep
Talk.
Talk.
Keep talking.
Now it's Red Keep Talk.
Red Keep Talk. Red Keep Talk. Bruh, the episode of Red Keep Talk where she brings Corlys on to sit down with all of his
Oh,
bastards.
Oh man. Ooh. How would she book Corlys?
No, I mean, you got,
Hey.
you come on, get some publicity, get some bread on you.
Yeah.
So clear your name, brother. Type.
Now, word is that
Guys,
you now
can I-
Corlys, it says you have some 2 bastard sons. What do you have to say about that?
Tough. It happened to everybody. It was the 60s.
Guys, can we do that? Seriously, can we dress up? I'll be Corlys.
Okay.
Jomi can be like can we do an episode of Red
Adam?
Keep
Is
Talk?
he Adam or is he
He's like we can do, and then Mal can
Who's
come in and be. We should do an episode of Red Keep Talk right around that one table right there. That's the kind of
Okay.
shit we should be doing. Like
No.
Ringer Red Keep Talk. That's the kind of shit we should be doing.
So we play we role play
anyway-
as characters on a podcast.
Yeah,
Hell no.
it's fun. I mean, we got the video
That is
out
fun.
there. Why don't we just do? Why are y'all not like to have fun? Everything is.
I
fun.
like to have
I like
fun.
it. I'm with it.
I'm with it.
I'm with it.
I'm with it.
I'm not.
But
You can be Jada.
the only reason why, Charles, I don't want to set expectations. We've done presumptive midnight meters before. I just kind of want to watch it and experience it. I get what you're saying, but if I'm too, is it going to stick the landing? Is it going to stick the landing? Is it
I
going to
think
stick
it
the
will.
landing?
All
Then
right,
it
I
might
get what
change the
you're
way I
saying.
look at it.
I'm hyped up on it. Like honestly, for seasons of TV and
I
shit
see.
that we've covered, I think after Shogun, this might be my favorite
Yeah.
thing that we've covered all year. It's just restored my feeling
Yeah.
in this nerd space, and it's a shame, dog. If it takes 2 years for this shit to come out,
Yeah. Hey, you know what's good about this episode? Another reason why I think it's one of my favorites. No Crispy Cole this week.
nah,
awesome.
they gotta
Yeah.
bring back Kristen.
It was awesome.
They gotta bring back Kristen.
Every time he on screen, my blood boil. You fraud. You bum. You lame.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of
Loser.
here.
That's your number one up.
That's my number one op.
That is a wrap. Tuesday, the House of R will deep dive into season 2, episode 7, the House of the Dragon. Very, very excited to see what they have to say about it. Wednesday, Ringerverse Recommends returns to give you the best releases of the month. Also on Friday, Mid Edition returns to discuss Batman Caped Crusader. Sunday, Talk of Thrones will be live on the Ringerverse YouTube right after the season 2 finale of Hot D. Hot D in the motherfucking house tonight. Our producers are Steve, the Architect Ahlman, Jonathan Chocolate Fire Kermah, who was kind of quiet this episode. We didn't get much from the.
We didn't get a lot
midnight
from Kerm.
It's okay. He's in the back eating burritos tonight. Yeah, he's eating breakfast. He's got his burrito.
Eating what?
Eating his breakfast.
Oh, he's
burrito.
got a breakfast burrito back there.
Yeah.
Aleya, the Zenieris, and Jomi, they explain her Adeniran on socials. Well, Aleya is not on socials, but Jomi is. Hashtag Steakhouse Jomi.
Yeah.
Steakhouse Jomi.
Steakhouse Jomi. It was good. That's
Steakhouse Jomi.
I'm never going back to man, fuck that place. We was in a fucking club.
I don't like that.
They brought out sparklers and shit. I was like,
they did 3 rounds of sparklers before we got the check, and I'm like, this is exhausting.
There's a lot going on.
Honestly, but I will say this, Midnight Boys. Like when we go to a city, we really shut it down. Like Midnight Boys, bro. They should give us a travel show, bro. They should really give us a travel show. Midnight Boys know how to travel.
That's right. Big facts.
So I'll say this. If they gave us a travel show, it would be interesting because each Midnight Boy would be on like a different mission.
Interesting.
I would be on the mission.
And then you reconvene at the end of the night. Status reports back.
I would be on the mission to find the best place to where you could have fun and be back in your room by 6:45.
Wash.
Hell yes.
Wash, baby.
Jomi, super washed, stone washed. Jomi would obviously be on a mission for the finest white women of any town that we're in.
When we were in San Diego, I finally get where the milkman was made being in San Diego because goddamn, Jomi was in heaven, bro.
Additional production from Arjuna Ramgopal. Chuck, take us out.
Jesus is the man. Dragonstone is rich. House of the Dragon is fire. And Jace is a motherfucking bitch.
Milkman Origins.
Also, shout out to the Christian rapper, my man.
Who's the man? Jesus.
Jesus is the man. Jesus is the man. Jesus is the man. Jesus is the man. J-E-S-U-S. Jesus is the man.
I was about to sign him to Ringer Records. I was like, all right, man.
Anybody who preaches outside nowadays, it doesn't have shit on him.
Who's the man?
See, that's the thing. I think that the Christian right thinks that Comic-Con is full of sinners because there was mad save your soul people wherever you went. And shout out to them. But they all fell short of Jesus is the man because one dude was outside of Comic-Con yelling to the top of his lungs. Like you couldn't hear shit but him saying,
like,
hey,
no, just celebrate.
Hey, all of your false idols, hell awaits you. I'm like, God damn. A nigga can't like Superman? I'm like, for real? He's like, all of your false idols, this is your last chance. I'm like, outside of Comic-Con, I get it if the AVN Awards was in town. Then I would kind of, but like Comic-Con is for real.
The Midnight Boy should go to the AVN Awards. Honestly.
What are the AVN Awards?
Why not?
Man,
why wouldn't we go to the AVN Awards?
What are the AVN Awards?
Oh, Jomi.
Jomi, do you really?
I'm serious. What are the
AVN Awards? Okay, all right, let's wrap it up.
You're a child.
Y'all made me sick. Y'all make me sick. Oh, real quick. Oh, never mind. I'm not even going to say that because if I say that, that's going to
I think I'm putting it together. I think I've got it.